Life surprises us with challenges that, at first glance, seem unsurpassed. Amid moments of uncertainty and fear, human experience yearns for answers and a meaning that goes beyond visible. It is precisely in this scenario of trials that the connection with the sacred becomes vital, revealing ways of hope and profound transformations. By cultivating an authentic relationship with the divine through prayer and discernment, we find not only comfort, but also the inner force to turn each obstacle into an opportunity for growth. This spiritual journey is not just a theoretical search, it is a practical experience that is reflected in the way we face our daily struggles. Intimacy with God invites us to look inside, find lessons in every difficulty, and renew faith in the face of challenges. Thus, every moment of prayer and reflection becomes an act of courage, allowing the light of divine wisdom to illuminate our steps and inspire us to live with purpose and authenticity. The journey in search of divine wisdom is born of a deep desire to understand the mysteries that transcend human knowledge. This yearning is not only intellectual, but a vocation that invites the spirit to open to the truths revealed by the divine. By recognizing that there are answers that go beyond the reach of reason, we begin a path of inner discovery that brings us closer to a larger reality. At the beginning of this walk, prayer comes as the first step in establishing an authentic connection with God. In every intimate dialogue with the sacred, the heart opens to capture messages of hope and guidance. This daily meeting not only illuminates the ways of life, but also prepares the terrain so that discernment flourishes in a natural and transformative way. The pursuit of divine wisdom then manifests itself in the willingness to learn from each experience, be it a hit or error. Each challenge faced is viewed as an opportunity to refine the understanding of divine teachings and apply these insights to practical life. Thus, experience becomes a school of self-knowledge, where each lesson reinforces confidence in the presence of God. By integrating the prayer and the practice of discernment, the seeker engages in a continuous process of renewal. This daily practice enables greater sensitivity to perceive the subtle signs of the divine, even transforming moments of uncertainty into instant revelation and growth. Wisdom in this context is not a final destination, but a light that comes on with each new discovery. On the way, spiritual traditions and teachings offer a solid foundation, where each biblical passage and each reflection become tools to decipher the puzzles of existence. Meditation on these sacred texts allows discernment to deepen, revealing layers of meaning that enrich life and expand the understanding of the divine. In addition, this search journey proves to be a community experience, where insights and testimonial sharing strengthens collective faith. When dialoguing with those who also follow this path, the individual finds new perspectives and solutions to old challenges, which reiterates the importance of maintaining an active relationship with the community of faith. Finally, the search for divine wisdom reveals itself as an endless path of self-discovery and transformation. Each step taken with sincerity and every moment of prayer feeds a flame that illuminates being and renews hope. This journey, although full of challenges, confirms that true wisdom is in the ability to learn, adapt, and above all, trust the guidance that comes from the divine. Life, with its unpredictable nature, constantly confronts us with moments of uncertainty. At these times, the feeling of vulnerability mixes with the need to find forces to move on. Recognizing that challenges are part of the course is the first step in transforming restlessness into learning. In the midst of obstacles, prayer presents itself as a powerful refuge, where the soul finds calm and guidance. This intimate dialogue with the divine allows the mind to calm down and the discernment to strengthen, offering clarity to face adversity. Each prayer is an opportunity to renew hope and trust. The daily challenges, however intense, bring with them valuable lessons. In facing every difficulty as an invitation to grow, we learn to extract wisdom from moments of crisis. This perspective transforms uncertainty into fertile ground for personal and spiritual evolution. During turbulent periods, faith plays an essential role in providing a sense of purpose and resilience. The connection with the sacred strengthens the spirit, allowing the individual to gather even in the face of the greatest adversities. It is in this environment of trust that discernment manifests itself with greater sharpness. The constant practice of seeking wisdom through prayer helps reorient the mind and heart. Each challenge faced becomes an invitation to look inside and recognize one's own strength. Thus, adversity is no longer an insurmountable obstacle and becomes an impulse for overcoming. In addition to being a personal process, facing uncertainties becomes more significant when shared with a community of faith. By dividing experiences and strategies to deal with challenges, each person contributes to a mutual support environment where hope and discernment are collectively strengthened. In short, moments of uncertainty are disguised opportunities that drive us to rethink and renew our commitment to life. By cultivating prayer and discernment, we transform the challenges into steps towards more authentic and resilient growth. Thus, each crisis reveals itself as an invitation to discover new dimensions of faith and wisdom. When knowledge is put into practice, it becomes a real agent of change. Divine wisdom is no longer just an abstract concept to manifest in everyday attitudes that generate impact and renewal. Prayer and meditation on received teachings act as tools for action. In reflecting on divine lessons, the individual finds inspiration to transform his thoughts and behaviors, making faith a living practice. Placing knowledge into practice requires discipline and courage to face daily challenges. Each decision made based on the acquired wisdom becomes a step that aligns personal life with spiritual values, contributing to inner growth. Practical experience reveals that sacred teachings have a transforming power. By applying these principles in problem solving and seeking solutions, the person discovers that the action based on faith can change the course of events. In addition to the individual benefit, the practice of knowledge inspires the community. When the example of a lived life becomes visible, it encourages others to also integrate prayer and reflection into its daily life, creating a network of support and mutual growth. The process of transforming knowledge into action involves recognizing and overcoming personal limitations. Each challenge faced with divine orientation reinforces the conviction that practical knowledge is a safe way to evolution and the realization of a greater purpose. Thus, the practical application of knowledge is consecrated as a link between theory and daily experience. Conscious action, guided by faith and discernment, not only strengthens the individual journey, but also sows transformations that reverberate in the lives of all around. Prayer is the link that connects the human being to the divine, providing moments of deep introspection and peace. Through this sincere dialogue, the heart finds not only comfort, but also the clarity necessary to face the daily challenges. Cultivating intimacy with God becomes essential to understanding that each prayer is an opportunity to renew faith. When the soul opens in this meeting, it captures teachings that transcend words, transforming feelings into actions that raise the spirit. Regular prayer practice reveals its strength by transforming the ordinary into times of deep connection. Amid the turmoil of life, this sacred space allows discernment to manifest, guiding decisions and strengthening hope. This intimacy is not restricted only to moments of necessity. It is also an invitation to recognize and celebrate daily blessings. By reserving moments to connect with the divine, the individual discovers that God's presence is in every detail, making life richer and significant. In addition to personal benefits, prayer fosters a network of mutual support and inspiration. By sharing this experience with the community, the bonds of faith and the conviction that together we can overcome any adversity with courage and love are strengthened. Finally, by valuing intimacy with God, we recognize that prayer is more than a religious practice. It is a way of life that transforms being. Each prayer, every moment of silence, is a step towards a fuller existence, where divine wisdom illuminates the way. The Bible emerges as a lighthouse that illuminates the paths of life, offering timeless and deep guidance. By plunging into their texts, the reader finds not only stories, but lessons that echo with divine wisdom, guiding decisions and strengthening faith. The study of Scripture transforms reading into an experience of discovery and self-knowledge. Each verse carries a teaching that invites reflection and discernment, helping to interpret the challenges of existence with a broader and more enlightened perspective. The practice of integrating biblical reading into prayer creates a powerful synergy. This communion between the written word and the intimate dialogue with God enables the Spirit to renew itself, finding answers and comfort in the sacred passages that have resisted in time. In addition to guiding the individual, the Bible establishes itself as a foundation for the community of faith. In sharing their teachings and reflections, members strengthen their ties, encouraging each other to live according to the values of love, justice, and compassion that permeate their pages. Each biblical narrative offers an invitation to rethink daily life and seek a more full life. Through examples of courage, wisdom, and redemption, the Bible demonstrates how faith can transform realities and inspire choices that promote spiritual and social well-being. By adopting the Bible as a guide, the reader is not limited to a theoretical study, but engages in a life practice. This integration causes sacred teachings to become part of everyday life, influencing attitudes, shaping values, and arousing consciousness to the constant presence of God. In short, the Bible reaffirms itself as an infallible guide that transcends time and circumstances. Its power lies in the ability to offer answers in brighten ways, transforming the lives of those who are willing to hear their message and live according to divine principles. Biblical narratives are true life manuals, where remarkable characters illustrate the practice of divine wisdom. Solomon, for example, demonstrated the power of discernment by judging with justice, revealing that wisdom is built with humility and openness to learn from the divine. Daniel is another figure that, even in the midst of challenges in the Babylonian Empire, maintained an unshakable faith. His commitment to prayer and the interpretation of dreams has enabled him to transform adverse situations into opportunities for leadership and spiritual growth. Esther, with her courage and sensitivity, used wisdom to protect her people. His decision, made in a time of crisis, shows how faith and determination can come together to promote justice and redemption in challenging contexts. Abraham, recognized for his faith and by the disposition to obey the divine so-called, exemplifies how trust in God can guide decisions that transcend human understanding. Its trajectory inspires the search for an intimate and continuous relationship with the sacred. Joseph, even in the face of misfortunes, turned adversities into unexpected blessings through his ability to interpret dreams and plan with wisdom. Its history teaches us that faith and discernment can reverse the most difficult times. The prophet Elijah illustrates the strength of prayer and connection with God in times of discouragement. In facing personal and collective challenges, he demonstrated that divine wisdom manifests itself clearly in those who surrender to the sacred with sincerity and perseverance. Finally, Nehemiah shows us that transformative leadership is the result of deep intimacy with the divine. By reconstructing not only walls, but also the hope of a people, he showed that wisdom, coupled with faith, is the basis for renewing dreams and building a better future. Overcoming begins in the heart when we recognize the barriers we create and prevent us from moving forward. These obstacles, often forged by fear and doubt, can be transformed into learning points and self-knowledge, paving the way for an inner renewal. Facing internal challenges requires courage to look inside and identify limiting beliefs. By uniting introspection with prayer, the individual finds the strength to break with old patterns and open to new possibilities, allowing divine light to reveal its transforming potential. The process of overcoming barriers is not immediate, but it is built step by step. Each moment of self-confrontation, coupled with a sincere dialogue with the divine, contributes to dissolving the internal walls and reinforcing faith in their own ability to change. In this path of self-transformation, discernment emerges as an essential tool. By learning to identify and question self-limiting thoughts, the being breaks free from the bonds that prevent him from achieving a full life and aligned with his essence. The constant practice of prayer offers a space of refuge where it is possible to renew hope and reconfigure the mind. This sacred moment of connection with God strengthens the determination to move on, transforming internal challenges into opportunities for spiritual growth. Sharing the journey of overcoming with a community of faith can enhance this process. By dividing experiences and learning, the individual feels welcomed and encouraged to continue his trajectory of self-discovery, strengthening ties and mutual trust. Finally, overcoming internal barriers represents a personal victory that reflects the presence and divine orientation. Each achievement, however small, is a testimony of the human ability to reinvent and embrace transformation, creating a new path full of hope and faith. In the whirlwind of daily information and stimuli, learning to silence distractions becomes fundamental to spiritual balance. Upon finding moments of stillness, the individual creates an internal space conducive to reflection, where the voice of the divine can be heard clearly. The practice of reserving periods for silence is an invitation to introspection. When it turns off from external interference, the heart turns to self-knowledge and prayer, allowing wisdom to manifest in a serene and natural way. In a world marked by constant digital noise and everyday frenzy, silence is seen as an act of resistance and self-care. This conscious pause not only renews the mind, but also strengthens the ability to discern what is truly essential to the soul. By opting for moments of calm, the individual learns to value the intimate connection with the divine. This state of serenity favors the absorption of spiritual teachings and creates an internal environment where faith can flourish without the disturbances of the outside world. Silencing distractions is also a way of reaffirming commitment to spiritual growth itself. Each moment of pause serves to recharge the energies, allowing prayer and meditation to integrate with routine and offer clarity for daily decisions. The regular practice of silence invites a change of perspective by reducing the noise around. The spirit becomes more receptive to the messages and signs of the sacred. This full attention creates a bridge between the inner self and divine wisdom, transforming the experience of living. Finally, to recognize the value of silence is to embrace the idea that the true connection with God occurs when a space is allowed free of distractions. This moment of stillness not only promotes self-knowledge, but also makes the spiritual journey deeper and significant, paving the way for a constant renewal of faith. Throughout the walk, advice comes as compasses that direct our choices and help us face everyday challenges. Each orientation, whether transmitted by someone more experienced or discovered through introspection, carries the accumulated wisdom of lived experiences. Listening to reports of overcoming and learning is critical to building a solid basis of faith and discernment. Stories shared by those who have already treading difficult paths offer valuable perspectives, encouraging us to look at our own struggles with renewed hope and determination. Personal experiences, when transformed into advice, leave a legacy that goes beyond time. Each challenge overcome and every lesson learned act as living testimonies of divine presence and care, inspiring both the individual and the community to persist in the pursuit of truth. By integrating these advice into the daily routine, wisdom becomes a practical tool for decision-making. Whether in times of doubt or renewal, the lessons extracted from the experiences of others and their own help in building a more conscious and aligned path with spiritual values. Sharing life experiments is also an act of generosity, because by dividing our successes and failures, we contribute to collective growth. This exchange strengthens community bonds and shows that even in adversity, there is always room for learning and evolution. Sincere dialogue about the challenges faced and the victories achieved creates a mutual support environment. In this space, each advice becomes a light that guides others to overcome their difficulties, demonstrating that faith and discernment reveal themselves in the sum of stories of overcoming. In short, the advice and shared experiences are configured as pillars that support the spiritual journey. By welcoming each teaching with an open heart, we strengthen our faith and encourage the construction of a future full of hope, learning, and transformation. Inner transformation begins with the decision to renew the heart, allowing old pain and limitations to give way to a new perspective of life. This renewal is not a sudden act, but a continuous process of self-knowledge and reconciliation with the past, paved by faith and prayer. When opening up for change, the individual learns to forgive himself and others, creating space for divine love and wisdom. This practice of forgiveness is fundamental to free the heart of resentment and allow the light of the divine to illuminate every aspect of existence. Through prayer, the heart finds a refuge where it is possible to meditate on the transformations necessary for a fuller life. Each prayer becomes an invitation to embrace new attitudes, dissipate fears, and strengthen confidence in the ability to start over. Discernment proves essential on this path of change, helping to be distinguishing between what needs to be left behind and what must be cultivated. Thus, inner transformation becomes a process of conscious choices, where each decision contributes to the construction of a new self. The renewal of the heart not only impacts personal life, but reverberates in all relationships. When the individual transforms himself, his positive energy and renewed faith inspire those around, creating an environment of mutual growth and constant support. Each moment dedicated to introspection and prayer strengthens the connection with the divine, allowing the inner transformation to consolidate. This continuous process of self-knowledge is a testimony of the human ability to reinvent itself and to always seek the best of oneself. Finally, the transformation of the heart is an invitation to live with authenticity and hope. By allowing divine wisdom to guide each step, being discovers that true renewal lies in the courage to change, the humility to learn, and the unshakable faith that drives the journey towards a lighter and more significant existence. In times of crisis, each decision becomes crucial and carries the weight of responsibility. In these moments, faith and clarity provided by prayer help the individual to discern the most safe and consistent path with their spiritual values. The turbulence of events can lead to anxiety and uncertainty, but the constant practice of dialogue with the divine offers a refuge to calm the mind. This instant of connection strengthens the confidence needed to make decisions with serenity. Discernment, cultivated through introspection and prayer, allows you to identify priorities even in the midst of chaos. By filtering the essentials of the superfluous, the individual learns to act accurately and to avoid hasty decisions that may aggravate the situation. Each choice made in the midst of the crisis is also an invitation to personal transformation. By recognizing that challenges bring valuable lessons, being strengthens, transforming moments of difficulty into opportunities for renewal and spiritual growth. Decision-making is not a lonely act, it benefits from the support and exchange of experiences with a community of faith. This sharing allows various perspectives to join, enriching discernment and offering mutual support during adversity periods. In critical situations, the ability to act quickly and cautiously is critical. Prayer, in this context, acts as a compass that guides each step, helping the individual maintain the balance between the urgency of the moment and the wisdom accumulated along the spiritual journey. Finally, the decision made in the midst of the crisis is a testimony of human resilience and confidence in a higher force. Each choice, guided by faith and discernment, contributes to the construction of a more solid future, demonstrating that even in the face of uncertainty, it is possible to transform chaos into a path of renewal and hope. Disseminating the message that transforms lives is an act of faith and commitment. Each testimony, when shared with sincerity, becomes a seed of hope, encouraging others to seek discernment and spiritual renewal. By dividing his experiences of overcoming and growth, the individual not only strengthens his own faith, but also builds bridges of solidarity. These inspiring accounts show that even in the face of adversities, divine light can guide and transform realities. Sharing testimony is an invitation for the community to unite around values that promote compassion and love for others. The exchange of experiences creates a mutual support environment where each story contributes to the collective strengthening of faith. The message conveyed through testimony reflects the essence of spiritual transformation. By reporting how prayer and discernment guide difficult times, each person reveals the strength that lies in the intimate connection with the divine, encouraging others to walk the same path. Disseminating the message is not just about words, but to a commitment to live according to the teachings received. Each action, inspired by faith and wisdom, becomes an example that invites everyone to experience the renewal of the heart and the inner transformation. In witnessing the wonders operated by the divine presence, the sharing of experiences becomes a channel of inspiration that goes beyond barriers and unites people. This act of spiritual generosity reinforces the idea that every story, however small, has the power to transform lives. Finally, To share the message and the testimony is to celebrate the journey of faith and the continuous renewal of the Spirit. In dividing his challenges and victories, the individual not only perpetuates divine light, but also builds a legacy that inspires generations to seek a full life and full of hope. As you go through this journey, we realize that divine wisdom manifests itself in every stage of life. From the search for understanding the mysteries of the sacred to the practice of prayer and discernment in adversity, each teaching reveals the transforming power of a faith lived with authenticity. The challenges faced, the barriers surpassed, and the choices made in times of crisis show that the true renewal is born of the courage to look inside. Through self-knowledge, forgiveness, and inner transformation, the heart reopens to hope and continuous spiritual evolution. Finally, by sharing the message and testimony of our experiences, we consolidate a legacy of light and love that inspires the community to walk a path of faith and discernment. This support network strengthens the belief that each life, guided by divine wisdom, has the power to transform not only itself, but also the world around it. May this account serve as an invitation to continue seeking, living, and sharing the transformative presence of God, renewing the heart and illuminating the ways with love and hope.